Have you ever wondered if there's actually a difference between the ranks from console to PC? Well, in this video I aim to answer that question. I'm a Masters 4 support player on Xbox, and I recently bought a PC, and after a little effort learning how to wield a mouse and keyboard, thanks to my time in Destiny 2, I decided to try my hand at Overwatch. Some things to note before we get started is I have played on my Overwatch account on PC a little bit, but only in quick play and with a couple of my friends, and we were all learning how to play PC at the same time, and we lost every game. So I'm not sure if that impacted my MMR or if that did anything, but I did notice that when I hopped into my first game, I was still rusty, even though I thought I knew how to, use a mouse and keyboard and click the right buttons. I was really struggling to aim. And I think a lot of that might be the difference in sensitivity I have in this game versus Destiny. So that's something I could learn to change and make more consistent between games. But besides the bad aim, I also had a lot of misinputs where I would try and use my shift and instead I would crouch, or something along the lines of trying to do one thing and I click a different button. That was not meant to be an emo field. My brain knows what to do, but my hands just either can't do it or do it too slow or something of that nature. And even with that, during my first game, I decidedly won. I mean, we almost full held them on first point on King's Row. They barely managed to get past the first chokehold. So that's kind of how I expected it to go, even with that, because in low ranks, it is a lot about everyone's mechanics are bad and everyone's game sense is bad. No way I just watched that. There's actually no chance I just watched that happen. I, in theory still have a Masters 4 support player game sense, so even with bad mechanics I should be fine. And that's how it went with the first game, although my predicted rank was Bronze 5, which is insane, so I'm wondering if they did an MMR reset or something of the likes. But either way, I wasn't too worried about it because I handily won the first game. And with the second game that I played, we won as well, but this one was a lot more shaky. Again, my aim was bad, I had a lot of misinputs, a lot of things I knew I could have done better mechanically. And something I noticed during this game as well is I would mess decision making up because I was so focused on hitting my shots or clicking the right buttons. So a lot of my mental energy was spent just, not running into walls. And so naturally my game sense also deteriorated. But again, we still won the second game, and there's not really much to talk about in the first two. It's as I expected it to happen, really. I mean, I'm in bronze and I won bronze games. Yeah, big deal. And then after this game, it suggested my rank would be bronze 3. So it's like, moving up in the world a little bit. And I move into the third game, and there's quite a bit wrong with this, just like the first two. And I don't like blaming teammates. I don't think it's gonna be useful for me or for anyone. But as much as I could have played better, and that's obvious, I should not have been doing as well as I was in comparison to my teammates, considering how poorly my mechanics are shaping out. And we actually lost, and I lost the game in bronze rank. Now, my suggested rank didn't go down, it was still bronze 3, which is very, a good sign, I guess. Usually when you lose, it'll go down, although it's not really, you can't really go further than bronze. It's about as low as you can go, so it would be, I guess, a little difficult for the game to suggest my rank to go down at this stage. But either way, I was like, it's just a fluke, right? I lost the game, whatever, I'll move on. I'm still learning mechanics, and, that's taking up a lot of my mental space, so my game sense is also lowered. And then I lost the next game.
Don't give up.
That's probably bad. And the next game. I have no idea, but I just lost 3 games in a row. Okay, so I deserve to be in bronze, is all this is saying. That's crazy! I lost 3 in a row in bronze. So at this point I switched to Baptiste, which was not my main on console. I liked Alari a lot better, but she is, I don't know, a lot more simple, so I wanted to try Baptiste because he has a lot of, I don't know if he still is, I haven't played the game in a little bit, but at one point he was the highest inputs per second character in the game. So I was like, that'll help me, if I can learn him, then when I switch back to an easier character, kind of like taking the training weights off in Rock Lee from Naruto. So I switched to Baptiste after my third loss, so on my 6th game. I lost again. Okay, there's a lot of things I could have done better there. I kind of had fun learning how to play Baptiste, just how buttons to click, but holy crap, that was a game! Although I did have fun, and you'll hear me mention that in the game, I enjoyed playing Baptiste, and I did on console. I mean, he's probably like my favorite character, especially when you play him well, it's so satisfying. But I was really noticing my lack of mechanical skill. I think I threw my immortality field like 6 times when I meant to reload. Dude, I meant to click reload. Or I would not throw it because I was spamming the reload button instead of clicking it, and then, so I'm just going to change that keybind moving forward. And the whole point of this process is I didn't want to go too much into like training into quick play and training and aim trainers and doing all that before I hopped into comp, because I kind of wanted to get a baseline for what I was like before I put any of the effort in, you know. The only effort I put in is like the time in Destiny 2 that I mentioned, which is just getting me acquainted with the keyboard and so that I'm not misclicking, which I guess didn't help very much. But regardless, that's the whole point of this. So I wasn't expecting to do this bad, but I guess that means there's a lot of room to improve, so that should be good. And again, even after this, my rank is still net moving down, even though I'm losing every game. At this point, I've now lost 4 in a row. And at this point, I decided to just play Baptiste here on out, because I was enjoying him. He's dead. Nope. Nice one. Okay, I meant to click reload though. So, I lost game 7. Oh. It's not my fault, guys. Yeah, I could have played better. That's not even sarcastic. I actually could have played better, but like, it still hurts. Game 8 and game 9 on Baptiste. Dude, this is insane. And then I went into my final game after losing 7 games in a row. Yeah, 7 games in a row, and finally had a game that went my way. And I know, like, I'll show a bunch of clips throughout this, and I'm sure that even just watching this, even if you're not a Masters player, like, what were you thinking? What were you doing? And like, as the person playing, I'm looking at this, and I know that, especially when I'm watching over the video, which I've never done a VOD review for this game, but I guess it kind of acts like one when I'm editing through this. I know I messed up, and there's things like, how did you ever make it to Masters? And keep in mind, a lot of this is me just learning the controls, although I didn't think it would be as bad as it was. And the fact that, officially, after I finally won my last game, I officially placed Bronze 2. Do not. That's, I guess PC is just that much harder, huh? Meaning, I was Masters 4 in Xbox, and that translates to a Bronze 2 placement. It's just insane. I don't really have any idea why I did so bad. I would imagine that no matter how bad my aim is or how bad my mechanics, just with game sense alone, I should have probably been silver or gold, especially with the plays I was seeing. Like, there's so many situations where I would just watch my teammates literally fly off of the map. No way I just watched that. Or just run in 1v5, no one waited for each other out of spawn, and there's so many things where it's like, what am I playing in? I've never played in this low of an ELO, like, I don't know what I'm looking at. And while that's sort of true, I have played a Bronze, it's just been a while. I really, like, I guess I'm just gonna have to adjust my playstyle. I have to carry, you know, I have to get the kills, but my aim is so bad I can't get the kills. But even in these 10 games, placement games I played, my aim was getting substantially better just in the 10 games I played, so I imagine it will improve over time naturally, as it does for everyone. Although I do plan to use the in-game aim trainer in the practice range, just to, you know, expedite the process a little bit, because it is insane just sitting there on an off angle. People are basically standing still because they don't know how to move either, and I'm missing, which, like, is completely on me. But I don't know, I would say that it is impressive I managed to place Bronze 2, but at the same time it does kind of make sense that I placed low. I'm just shocked it's as low as it was, and maybe that's saying something about the difference between PC and console. Maybe genuinely a Masters 4 support player is a gold player on PC. Now, I don't know if I actually believe that, and I've seen videos of people, you know, playing Masters PC versus Masters console, and it seems like it's pretty fair. especially now with the latest update with the aim assist buff. But at the end of the day, I got a lot of work to do, so I'm hoping to turn this into a series kind of like I did with my Destiny 1, except a little bit different. I don't know if I'm going to do weekly updates as much as milestone updates, like, you know, after 50 games, after 100 games, that kind of thing, so that there's a more of a movie style, and it's a lot more content, but more synthesized down, and, you know, less me talking, more gameplay, more reactions to things. So just a little bit of a different style from my other videos. But thank you for watching.